Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day. Wanna tell her that I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, someday I'm gonna make her mine. Oh yeah, someday I'm gonna make her mine. Here it is, the shortest Beatles song on record. This is, of course, Her Majesty. 24 seconds long on Abbey Road. Turned out to, of course, be tacked on almost like a hidden bonus song. And this was McCartney's. McCartney just wrote it as a throwaway to entertain John. And kind of tongue-in-cheek sort of thing. And you probably know that this was actually originally put in the middle of the long one, the medley that started off, that included Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam. And if you listen to the endings of those and the beginnings and endings of this, you hear that, oh yeah, it fits right in there. Now on the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road, they've got that reinstated with it back in the middle where it originally was meant to go. Now what happened was when Paul heard this in there, he says, oh, take that out, cut it out and throw it away. Well, the engineers have been trained not to do that. They were trained to follow his directions, but not throw it away. And so it did end up being, after 20 seconds or so, tacked on to the end of the end. And of course, the end is classic because it was the last thing they really wanted to go out on. Let It Be and all, and ended up coming out afterwards, a story for another day. But they really had kind of wrapped up their career with the whole line about the love you make is equal to the love. Anyway, you got it? So when Paul heard it tacked on 20 seconds later, he said, oh, that's cute, or that's great, leave it on. Now, he performed it, well, at least I found one video of him playing it in front of the Queen. And that was really helpful for getting a handle on his technique in this. Now, I've done a lesson on Blackbird. Paul's fingerpicking technique is different than John's and George's. Well, George didn't do as much of it, but John got regular Travis picking style alternating bass kind of down. Paul never really quite got that. His style consisted more of playing with just his thumb and index finger, doing a half-picked and half-strummed thing. And that's what we're going to explore in this lesson. So we'll talk, of course, about the chord progression and everything that happens in there. But Paul's technique, and you can start practicing this even just right now, really consisted of doing what I would call a grab. It's a pinch. He only uses one finger for the strumming. And just that move right there would be worth working on, where I'm calling this a grab because what I'm doing is brushing across a couple of the top strings with my index finger while I hit the fourth string in the bass on this D chord. So you're really hearing two and even a bit of the third string with this brush, up as the thumb is coming down. And then he uses that same finger to strum a down and an up. So the basic pattern, I'll break this down a little bit more in the next segment, but the basic pattern you could practice, and I'll just do this alternating bass notes on a D chord, would be this grab on the first beat, down, up with your index finger on beat 2, eighth notes, and the bass note again, or a different bass note, like the A in the bass on beat 3, and then a brush down on 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So as I played through that part, that's what was going on. So we'll slow it all down and break it down, but you can start getting to work on just that. Oh, Paul also usually does this with his hand anchored. I tend to teach with that. Well, I recommend not doing that, just because I like to use my other fingers for stuff. But in this one, you don't. You can get away with just your thumb and index finger. So we'll be breaking down and spending a lot more time than 25 seconds. Already have spent way more than that talking about Her Majesty.